if you were going through something in, let's say, the legal process or anything where you're having to advocate for yourself, whether it's through your job, your school, maybe just even a group that you're a part of, I want to tell you what is going on with you so that you can have a little bit more compassion than might be coming in right now. Okay, first of all, like I don't know how to say that one of the best things that you could do if you're going through something in the legal process, my dentist would not like to see that. One of the best things that you could do if for yourself is if you're going through anything where you're having to advocate for yourself. First of all, it's just exhausting. I'm going to tell you a little bit why I brought out, but it really requires some change behavior to take care of yourself during the process. So I've never really used the expression like stop and smell the roses, because you're like, I have things I gotta get done. Like it was time to stop and smell the roses. And that during these hard seasons, it's actually really important to like just take moments out of your day where you're like, life is good. I really appreciate what I have. So this morning, I got to chat with a friend who, was just like a kind of something quick, like just fun little parts of the morning where I enjoyed it. I left with more energy that I came in with it. And that was a huge thing. And then I needed to pick up some of this like post-it board stuff and I just found the nearest one that was near my kid's school on my way into the office and Staples. And that specific store was closing. So everything was like 50% off, which, in normal times, it's like, oh, very cool. Like, that worked out great. But when you're going through stuff that is like, it just feels like crap is being thrown on you from like all directions, you gotta take those moments and just be like, a break. Thank you. Like a break, Okay, so if you're going through something where you've had to advocate for yourself, and I'm going to use the example of the legal system because I'm going to show you where Beyond the Mind legal advocacy work fits in to this example. But just know that if you're not in the legal system, if you're advocating for yourself at your job, at your school, in a group that you're a part of. Okay, so first of all, if you have had to initiate something in the legal system, or if you are called in as like the defendant in the legal system, something has happened that necessitates the legal system, right? So you maybe before had been on some sort of solid foundation or what you thought was solid foundation, but right now that has shifted. So your whole foundation that you are standing on is no longer feeling solid. All of a sudden you're thrown into the legal system, even if you've initiated it. If you're like, hey, this next step in advocating for myself, I think involves getting some legal support because this is an instance where like our rights are really being violated. That's not easy breezy stuff. All right. So your whole foundation has just like taken a hit. Now, I'm going to cut through a lot here just to kind of keep focused on the concept of what's happening with you and why do you especially need to take really good care of yourself in this season. Let's say you're already in the legal system, right? And there's some highs and there's some lows, but you leave a hearing or a meeting or, a prep session with your lawyer and you leave it feeling just exhausted, right? So all of a sudden you're okay, so you are here and it was a great meeting. So the meeting or the hearing, whatever it is, the event was positive, right? But you and your energy and your brain power, and maybe even a little bit of like hopefulness, is just kind of feeling very down and low. All right, so without even needing to know your situation, I can tell you a little bit of what's happening because I've had to navigate far too many than I would like. And it took way too long to understand this. So here is my energy and brain power that is just here for you for free for the taking. What's happening in this scenario? So you are engaging in conversation that touches on some past scenario that you come here to ask for help for, right? It was stressful, it was traumatic, it was confusing, it was disheartening, it was heartbreaking. All of those like emotions like are coming up right now. So we are revisiting the past experience. While we're in the process of it, it's really hard to heal. Like while you're in the process of getting your needs met, while advocating for yourself, right? The healing can start happening through this process, but it's not going to complete in this process, like to be realistic. Okay, so we are already drained now because we've had to revisit some sort of past scenario. And on top of that, while we were revisiting that past scenario, we are trying to figure out how does that past scenario impact our future. So I can see I'm needing to write bigger in the future. So just please just bear with me. So this is future. What happens when we're thinking about the future that we can't control, and these thoughts are about like worry and hopelessness? Well, it kind of creates anxiety, right? More worry. Sometimes our minds can spinning. Your mind is spinning. So these two things like co-occurring at once as you're talking through a scenario has your brain going in the past and in the future. Your body is reacting to the past, but also to like your future worries. And now, if this wasn't bad enough, if this wasn't stressful enough for you, which I think this is bad enough, right? Like this is a lot. And keep in mind that your foundation has just been like rocked, right? The rug has been pulled under you. On top of all of this, within these dynamics, is how is your identity being impacted? So, in these systems, in any sort of like time that you have to advocate for yourself, but especially in the legal system, there's a lot that I would just categorize as character assassination here. And it's valid, right? They're trying to prove you discredible, even if you're not. That's a strategy. So you are in a position where you are really being required to be very grounded down in your own identity. Okay. So we want our identity to be on solid ground. But it's quite possible that what has happened here has affected us here. So though we want this, that grounding is like no longer stable. It's gotten a little bit rocky too. This is a lot. This is really quite a lot for one meeting that went really well. Sorry, one meeting that went really, really, really well. If all of this is happening to your system, your mind is like kind of going back and forth. It doesn't really have a great place to settle. Your body is reacting to the past. It's reacting to fear and insecurity as your identity is being challenged, your character is being challenged. And of course, there's a huge unknown that you're sitting in the middle of. How is this gonna impact you in the future? So what often happens is when you're moving from this state and trying to move things forward without the ability to get yourself back onto some sort of solid ground and have tools to work through this dynamic that's happening right here, this starts to compound, which means when you go into the hearing or the next conversation with your lawyer or even your next meeting at work, this all has potential to pull this down. And at Beyond the Mind, we not only want to create a boundary from this situation affecting your current state, plus your future trajectory, we want to be able to give you the tools so that this can be very boxed, right? And when we can help you work this into navigating the chapter that you are in, this energy and like brain power drain, it doesn't go down so much anymore, right? We come in and maybe it becomes a little bit like this, right? It has a lesser impact on you. So then we give you some strategies and tools so that you are learning from this experience in a way that you can figure out like what is the longer term support system that I need in order to feel like I'm going to be on stable ground moving forward, no matter what happens. To know that I have the capabilities to take care of myself when I'm impacted by past scenarios, future anxiety, and when my identity is being challenged. How do you take care of yourself in that moment so that this actually shifts direction and you can regain your energy and start to have more positive momentum as you move forward with life? And whatever the scenario has caused that damage can start moving towards the past, regardless of the final decision that's made, regardless of whether everything that you are explicitly asking for is going to be met. We want to make sure that this process does not pull you down. It doesn't become re-traumatizing. It doesn't set you on a trajectory that loops into this like deficit of your energy, of your brain power, of your views of yourself. And I'll tell you that this is hard work. This is very hard work. It's not easy work. But I'm going to go through some more material about why this can be so hard for some of us versus where we might see somebody else going through a similar scenario and we're like, I don't know if they're struggling as much as I am. Well, we're going to go through that. But right now, I just want to recap. Like, if you are in a situation where you are needing to advocate for yourself, where you were once standing on solid ground, you no longer are, right? You are not standing on a stable foundation anymore. Something has shaken your world. And even when you're doing well and moving things forward in the way that you want, my gosh, your brain and your body are having to do so much work right here. It's needing to revisit the past, which if you could have resolved that, it would have been resolved. You wouldn't be in this situation. There's a big unknown. So now you're worried about how that will affect your future. And you're in a situation where the truth of the situation, the truth of who you know you are, is being challenged. Gosh, even the best of us, like, that takes energy to just keep staying on solid ground of saying, hey, I know myself, and what you're trying to portray is not me. Okay, so all of this, even in the best positive meeting, positive hearing where things go your way, can actually leave you like with a deficit, feeling not as stable as in your identity, your energy, your brain power, like your physical ability to like get up and go do a workout. All of that is just depleted. So we can work with you to help you get on stable ground again, to learn how to manage your energy and your capacity in these scenarios and outside of them, so that this situation that you're dealing with now is just a hiccup and you are already resetting the trajectory for positive things to come for your life today and where you are intending to take it. And so that's where with Beyond the Mind, our legal advocacy support, because we know how challenging it is to work within the legal system. And we also are trauma informed. We know what's happening here with brain, body, and where there definitely will be some short-term work that needs to be done, but we can kind of help you identify like, what's the best route to go through to continue this work after you're outside of the legal process. And we can help you understand the larger picture of how you can use the fear, the worry, the confusion, all of that within here to help move you forward so that you are back on track with a positive trajectory for your future, your investment in yourself, because it is possible. to grow through these scenarios. It's tough work, but it is the work that's quite worth it. You'll learn a lot about yourself. You'll have leverage to grow in a way that you want to, that will seize the opportunity here to meet your own goals. And will ensure that you're not dependent on just the outcome of this to keep your trajectory moving forward. You can continue moving forward with your life and then have this simply be the support and the accelerator towards that. So, I guess if you are already in the midst of this, I just want you to have patience with yourself. You're going through a lot. You were going through a lot. And to try to just like maintain life in the midst of this is good enough. Really is. Some of us don't like good enough, right? Some of us want that growth to be continuing. We want our goals to feel like they're not taken away from us. We want to have more agency over the direction that we move forward with. So if this resonates with you, I want you to go ahead and reach out to us, book a call, let us know the scenario that you're going through, and we can explore how we can help you. We'll have the links in the notes below. Thank you.